Truth Speaks. It is provocative. It is thought-provoking. It is bold and embodies the very nature of both the human experience and the human condition.
All right, folks, welcome to the Truth Speaks podcast. This is another episode of season 2. I'm your host, Dee Mosley, and we're broadcasting from YD Creative Studios. Joining us today is another phenomenal woman who a lot of you know if you're in the local area. Joining us today is Stacey, aka Stacey the Stylist. The one and only Stacey the Stylist, Stacey Miles Billups. Did I get that right?
Yes.
She's joining us today, and I'm so privileged to have her. Before we get into the conversation, what we're going to do definitely is to add a little context to the conversation so folks will know a little bit about who you are. So we're going to do that by me reading the bio that you sent over to us. Okay. So I'm going to do that right now. So again, y'all, joining us today is Stacey the Stylist. She's a native of Illinois, Chicago, that is, Chi-Town. But she relocated to Georgia in 2012 with her husband and her children. And her children are now all adults. She's been an entrepreneur for over 30 years. That is absolutely amazing. The moment that she graduated from cosmetology school at Pivot Point International, she hit the ground running. She's been fortunate to become a salon owner, First Impressions Salon. If you know, baby, you know. If you know, you know. Before I get old and gray and decide to shave all of what's under here off, I'm gonna go let her tell me what to do with it. But First Impressions Salon for the last 9 years in the LaGrange community of which she lives. Since she's moved to LaGrange, she's often wondered when she would find her tribe. And I can attest to the fact that I do believe she has. So she's found her passion that she did not know existed in the tribe that she's found, among some other things. And she's been blessed to have a great group of ladies in her life recently, as well as church community. In 2022, she opened the Dressing Room of LaGrange. Again, a phenomenal concept. We're going to talk about it. Where she does wardrobe consulting and retails with women, clothing, and accessories. So how are you?
I'm wonderful.
Good. We're in the swing of things of spring, right?
Yes.
Which means that you are a busy lady.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Very busy time for me.
Okay, so let's start. What does that mean for you? Let's start right there. Busy time for you, spring, swing, things of all things, especially with a lot of things that you're involved in, right?
Yeah.
One of those things being Tribe Ujima, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about how you became involved, how you found it. And I believe that when you talk about passion, that is one of your newfound loves and passions. Let's start there.
Okay.
Because I think that's easy to really talk about.
Okay. So actually, Tribe Ujima found me.
I like that.
I didn't find it. I didn't go seeking. I didn't go searching for it. It actually, someone told me about it. Actually, my massage therapist, Brandy Woodfield, told me about.
Wow.
She had just heard about it herself, and she dropped a seed on me one particular day, and I kind of started inquiring about it, and
I like that.
And so what I began to do is just drop in, see what it's all about, see it in action, see it in motion, because I believe that seeing is believing.
And what I know about you, if I do know, the little that I do know about this amazing woman, is she's not going to take anything for face value. She's gonna peep it for herself. I do know that I'm a little observant, so I've noticed that about you. You gonna get in there. You gonna flip open the cover and see what's what.
Yeah.
So that's what you did.
Yeah. So I just began to pop in and just visit, and then listening to Kawazi, listening to the vision.
The founder, Kawazi.
The founder Kawazi. He enlightened me on a whole lot of things concerning the garden. And I think at first he was kind of like, didn't think I would get my hands dirty, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was trying to leave me with little tasks, like more of an
Let
organization of it all. And then I'm like, no, I want to
get in there.
And once I did that, I fell in love.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I was just like, this is amazing. To put a seed in the ground, and then you're nourishing it, you're feeding it, you're making sure that it's not overgrown with weeds and insects and things that's not good for it.
So is that a life lesson?
It is. And you can add that.
You can apply it to anything in life.
Go. Exactly.
So was that one of the draws for you, is seeing life in helping life to cultivating life is what you do at the garden. So did you see the whole concept and perception of life overall and what you all do?
Yes, I did. And the more that I put my hands to it, and then I saw it grow up and spring forth, I cried.
I love that.
I'm not kidding. I sat out there in the garden and I cried. And so what it has done for me, it's a de-stressor. You can go out there and put your feet in the soil, and get energy. You know, it just fuels you.
I love all of this.
Actually.
I love all of this. And I'm gonna tell you why I love it. I love it because you get it.
Yeah.
You get what so many of us, me included, child. I'm trying to get where she is.
She's.
I'm trying to. I got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
But you get it.
Yeah.
You get what we all are. Well, what some of us say we're striving to get to. You're there.
Exactly.
Because you see the big picture, and you have released yourself and allowed yourself to be a part of the evolving and the process of growth and understanding what growth is and understanding how to pull the weeds out and why certain things don't grow. And listen, if you didn't catch this, we talking about life. We incorporating it with this garden.
Yes.
But you get it. Yeah. You get it. And I love that, and
it has helped me heal.
Yeah, exactly.
In so many ways.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. That is, that's where I strive to be. Yeah. And when you can get to a place where you find your place of that heals you, that's it. That's the battle right there.
Mm-hmm. I can go out there sometimes and just release. I go out there and pray. I speak to the plants.
Exactly.
I speak to the what we're growing. I speak to God first and foremost, and sometimes I go out there and I just cry.
Right, and that is the release that we're all looking for. Some of us do it in therapy.
Yeah.
But when you can find that place when it's just you and God and whatever He has given you, like with the garden to release. Girl, I'm jelly. I'm a little jealous because she's there. I'm trying to get there. I'm gonna get there, y'all. I'm gonna get there. Let's talk about. I could stay there at the garden all day. So this has been a transformational moment for you. Yes. Is that how you see it?
Yes, definitely.
So when you found your tribe, do they? How has it fueled other passions in your life? How has it opened your mind up to grow other things or include other things in your life that you've dreamt about or other plans that you have for your life?
Well, first of all, being out there and speaking to God and hearing from God, and also being around other like-minded people, encouraging you, pushing you, supporting you. And that's what we are. We are support. We're a network of support. And so what it has done for me is it has
not just a collaboration, but a network of support. That's important and amazing.
Yes. So the push and the drive and knowing that you have people around you that shows you and tells you that there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. collectively.
And you all do that.
And we support each other's
endeavors.
Exactly.
Passions.
Other people in the tribe also have other businesses.
Exactly.
And so we support each other. And with that, and having that village and having that push moment, it has pushed me into a new venture.
Right.
I can't say it right now.
Okay.
Me and my business partner, we have not broke
Maybe
ground,
she'll come back and talk to us about it.
You'll invite me back.
Absolutely.
I'll definitely give you all the tea.
Yes.
But I am starting a new business.
I love it.
In the Fayetteville area.
Awesome. I love that.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes.
So before you came to this place in your life, and you talked a lot about a little bit of the bio that you gave us. You talked about finding your place.
Yes.
Before you got here, and before, because I feel such a piece about you and you're settled. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that word, because I think some of us use settling as negatively, mm-hmm. but you've like your center in your core, you have a peace.
Yes.
So now that you're there, where were you before? How did you were probably where I am. Like a lot of times I feel like
enough time?
we gonna make enough time, girl.
But I'm glad you asked that question, because before I moved here, I think, just a lot of times not focusing on what's valuable and what's important, you can find yourself fragmented all over the place.
I love that word, fragmented.
Yes, I was fragmented.
I love that.
I was all over the place. My mom was going through her battle with cancer.
Right.
So I was, pulled into caring for her, taking her to her doctor's appointments. Then being a mom of 5.
That part.
Being a mom of 5 is a task.
Being a mom of 2.
So I had children that was on different activities and
sports.
Yes.
So
I was trying to be there for them, plus still manage a salon.
Right.
And then, I had a big role to play in the ministry. Mm-hmm. And then, and
so
then you
all
talk
of those
about your
things,
friends and your sisters
right?
And your brothers.
Where do you plug all of that in at?
Yeah.
So fragments.
I was all over
pieces of you everywhere.
Everybody had a piece of me but me.
But girl, you better preach up in here. I don't even know if we're going to get to the questions that are here. But everybody had a piece of you but you. Yeah. Ooh, that gave me chills.
And I was constantly pouring out of an empty cup. Yes, constantly.
So when you found Tribe Ujima and your garden and your secret place, your place mm-hmm. to commune with God, when did you say, God, this is it?
Yeah.
And before you say that, I also say, it's your relationship with God seems like it deepened. Like you had, mm-hmm. there's an intimacy there that was not there before, that you don't necessarily. And I harp on this. I don't know what it is about this season in my life, but I've become an advocate of making sure that people understand that God is not just in a place. He's not just in a building.
Hallelujah.
Praise the Lord, saints. Yes. And I feel like your meeting place with God shifted, and He communicated with you and let you know that you can find me anywhere.
Yes. But where it first starts at is first, and this has been a major lesson for me, and a lesson of wisdom.
Right.
Do not ever let anyone define what he's supposed to appear to look like and be.
You better talk about it. Exactly.
Because people will put restraints and limits on you.
And if you don't see it their way,
appear
mm-hmm,
to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into appearance.
You better talk about
because
it.
Because at the end of the day, God knows all.
Right.
And so who am I trying to appease?
Right. And He's so much bigger than we try to, we could never wrap our minds around who He is. I mean, He is God. He knows all of us, created everything. So how can we even minimize Him to put Him in a box?
Right.
Listen, we are going to take a break to thank our sponsors. I'm already loving this conversation. We'll be right back.
I'ma do my stuff. Man down. I'ma do through my stuff.
And we're back, and we were just talking to Miss Stacey the stylist, and I put that in there because we're going to pivot. But we were just talking about a place that I love to talk about, God and relationship with him and intimacy and just us continuing to grow in him. But we're going to shift to Stacey the stylist and talk about you as an entrepreneur, a Black woman starting your own business. Mm-hmm. You transitioned from Chicago to LaGrange. When you hit the soil in Georgia, was it your thoughts to begin your first business, which is First Impressions? Mm-hmm. How did that all come about?
It came about because I was not satisfied with what I was seeing. That's why it came about. And we talking about the truth, right?
Wow, good God, that just hit me right here. Because I'm about to ask you, I'm about to ask you. You were not satisfied with what you were seeing, mm-hmm. where you were in the new community yes. that you planted, you intended to plant roots in, mm-hmm. which means that you weren't pleased with how your sisters was looking.
I wasn't pleased with what I saw on a daily basis when I would frequent other places.
Wow.
I wasn't satisfied with what I saw operating in other salons.
Wow.
So I felt like this was the time. And at one point I thought I had lost my opportunity because I wasn't following Holy Spirit mm-hmm. When he led me to open a salon before. And I kind of like was second guessing it, and I didn't have enough faith.
So you felt like you missed your moment.
I thought I missed my moment.
So what year was it when you're 9 years in the game?
Yes.
So that was roughly 2012-ish?
So I opened my first salon in 2016. I moved here in almost 2013, at the end of 2012.
Got you.
And I worked in other people's salons for about close to 4 years.
Okay.
Three and a half years. And like I said, I wasn't really satisfied with what I saw and what I was experiencing. So, and I just made a decision, and I prayed about it. Mm-hmm. I sought God, and I waited for an answer. Do you think you were waiting for an answer
from him, or were you waiting to take the leap and come
yes.
and step away from the fear of doing it?
Right.
Okay.
The fear of not knowing will I make it.
Because sometimes he gives us the answer, and we and we pretend like we don't hear it, like, nah, God.
Yeah. We trying to figure it out instead of just trusting.
Instead of trusting him when you know that you heard him. And when you say, and you look beautiful and well put together today.
Thank you.
I love, every time I see you, it feels like you're very intentional.
Yeah.
About what you look like and what you represent every time you step out of the door, even if you're just stepping out to go to work.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So was that, and not to, I get it. And not to throw shade, but there has to be what is the word I'm looking for? Did you feel like that somebody had to set a standard?
Yes.
And regardless of whether or not people acted like they appreciated it, when we see those standards and we see that bar, sometimes we kind of quietly follow that path of where the compass is. Mm-hmm. So were you cognizant of that, or was that your intention?
Yeah, because I was intentional. For one, this is something that I've always been into.
Even before you got to look, it was instilled in you.
Exactly.
Got you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This was something that I used to get so excited about, even when it was time for my mom to buy my school clothes.
Girl, I love it. Yes. Time to go school shopping, baby. That was the thing.
And then also, we have to realize that almost everything we do is ministry.
Ooh,
almost everything.
That's so good.
How can I esteem and encourage another young lady to be more mindful of her appearance if my appearance is not, if I'm not well put together. You know?
Right.
And we know that this is just external, but, even the way that I carry myself internally.
Exactly.
The way that I talk to people,
That's
the way that
so
I love,
true.
the way that I hug on people, love on them, and you know what I'm saying?
Like you just said, everything is ministry.
Yes.
And a lot of times we don't think about that.
Yeah.
Not just the external, like you said, but the way that we carry ourselves, the way that we have conversations, even the way that we may, touch someone is ministry. And we, especially Black women, we do, like you just said, we need more of that.
Yeah.
And we have to be cognizant of that because we're so used to rejection from everywhere, especially from one another. So is that something that you think about on a daily when you step into not only First Impressions, but also the dressing room?
Yes. It's very important to me because even any stylist that comes and works at First Impressions, we have a
conversation.
Meeting. Yes.
I love that.
We have to have a come to Jesus meet.
I love that.
Because it's important to me that if you're going to be a part of this team, that we know how to treat people. Because we may be the only smile that they see.
The only ministry.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And I feel responsible.
Girl, this is,
and I accept the responsibility.
And that's why God gave it to you, because he knew who would do the right thing.
Yeah.
So you said that you have other stylists.
Yes.
What does that look like? I know I smile when I think about your salon because you said that you do you schedule by appointment only.
Yes.
So I love that. Just because it gives you, I think, maybe an opportunity, and your other stylists. Are you all in there at the same time, or?
Sometimes we are all in there at the same time, and it is so fun when we're
right.
all in there at the
That's
same
what I was
time.
about to
it's
say.
Like a blast when we're all in there at the same time. Sometimes everybody has different schedules. They keep their own schedule. We do have a new girl that's coming on board in a couple of weeks. And we have a braider, and we have a loctician at this present time. And you know me, I do almost everything.
Everything.
Except braids. So we
have you transform.
Girl, yes.
Yeah.
We have another young lady's coming to join us that does almost everything.
So the conversations that you all have range from having a good time to therapy to ministry to dreams and all that.
Well, the conversations, for one, we always talk about being mindful because we don't want to offend.
Right.
We don't want to be offensive. And the conversations in the salon sometimes get real, and it's just life in its totality, you know, and in a whole, the conversations, sometimes they're led by us and sometimes they're led by the clients. Now, I know how how to redirect.
Exactly.
It's not
right.
a healthy conversation.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
That is queen status.
Yes.
I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. And I when I'm around you and we're in a space, I can read how you read. I can see that you're very mindful of wherever you are and whatever you're a part of. It's almost like you're always thinking about being very intentional.
Yeah.
So that's a part of what you do in the salon on a daily basis.
And I love to serve.
I know, I can tell.
I love to serve.
And that's a part of your business. That is your core. That's what makes First Impressions successful. And how you style your clients when they come to the dressing room. So talk to me about how you and why you decided to move in that direction, because they're all encompassing.
Yes.
So that I almost feel like that was strategic as well.
It was, and it really came about and was birthed because my clients were always complimenting me. on what I had on.
Yeah.
And I am
the fly chick right here.
and for a brief moment, I started to change because people were making me feel like I was doing too much. Like why are you coming to work so dressed up?
My goodness.
So I said,
and I cannot believe that you almost slipped.
It's easy to get caught up in other people's opinion and thoughts and words. Words have a lot of power.
That is so true.
And so I caught myself trying to kind of
tone it down,
to suffice other people. But then I had this, and an older lady told me, don't ever change. Don't you let anybody in any place change.
That's how the enemy does. He gets us by using, and again, no negativity, but there's messages in everything that we're saying.
Yes.
But that's how the enemy gets us, is by using other people to pull us out of our purpose, to break us mentally, physically, by any means necessary. And that could come by, girl, where you going?
There you go.
What you doing? We at work.
Yeah.
Or which is social media, which is like the main devil's playground.
Yeah.
To make it sound as bad as it is. But it also depends on how you look at it. But yeah, words and other people's perceptions and how they want to, how their view of the world.
Yeah.
And how they want you to be in agreement with them. But you stood your ground.
I stood my ground, and like I said, and then people were, and then you had the ones that was always complimenting you, want to know where you get that from. So then I found myself doing personal shopping. I was going.
Oh wow, that's how it started.
Come up with a budget. And then we would go shopping, and I'll kind of put their pieces together. Mm-hmm. So that's how it actually really was birthed, is because I was like, well, I don't have a lot of time, and
I love
to put
that.
in
I love
always
that.
going to the stores and to the malls and stuff like that. So why don't I bring it here?
Right.
And then we can just go in the bag.
Right.
And here we go.
So that's, and what year was that?
That was in 2022. I'm sorry.
Okay, so almost 4 years.
Yes.
Going into the 4th year. So
yes.
What other plans do you have for the dressing room? I know you've done, is it 2 fashion shows or 3?
I have done 2, and the 3rd one will be this year. We took a year off. We took 2024 off.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to put such a big event like
production.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then when you're in the service business, especially when it comes to beauty,
yes,
you have a lot of people that you're constantly serving.
Yes.
So to have 2 service type businesses is a lot.
Yes. And so
when do you sleep?
So we kind of
toned it down a little bit.
Dressing room a little break. So right now we're only allowing the clients that come in for their hair services to purchase. That's not only, but other people that have shopped in the past.
Yeah.
But we're not pushing it and promoting it
as hard as you used to be. Rebranding.
I'm pivoting.
I like that word.
We're gonna pivot.
Pivot is a great word.
Okay. Pivot.
Okay.
So, and we're gonna, when we come back out, the fashion
they about to
show
pop out.
We about to pop out.
Okay. Okay, Kendrick, they really about to do it.
Really about to do it.
And with that, we'll be right back. I love it, girl.
Damn, I'ma do my stuff. Man, damn, I'ma do my stuff.
And we're back. We were just talking about Stacey's businesses and all of her endeavors and why she does what she does. And we were just talking about how quickly 30 minutes goes by. So we're going to try. We could sit here all day because I'm enjoying having this conversation with her. But we're going to try to round it out so that Stacey can get back to everything that Stacey does, this powerful woman. So let's talk a little bit about how you found your people. Okay. Because a lot of times it is difficult, and it's an uncomfortable place for a lot of Black women to find their sisters.
Yeah.
So you found that group of people. How does that look for you all? And how did that come about? How did all that happen for you?
Actually, I first of all encountered, I would say, Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
And she became, actually, a few people, her moving from Cleveland.
Right.
People referred when she would see people in the store. She knew here,
Right.
didn't know anyone.
Who did your hair?
And she would ask, who did your hair? And,
Right.
and by the grace of God, 3 or 4 people told her.
Wow.
That, she came in encounter with people that I have already serviced.
Right.
And so she became a client. We became
That's
close.
how it started.
She met other women here. I had already encountered Dr. Baker.
Right.
And Nikki Franklin
Mm-hmm.
as well. But there was a glue that kind of like brought us all together.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, being a transplant is the word.
I was
have
just thinking
heard.
that word.
Yeah.
You transplants. And I try not to use words that don't sound right.
Right.
But being a transplant, that's the word.
Yeah.
It's you look for relatable people,
Yeah.
and this is what I love about folks who are not originally from an area. You are very intentional because you're away from, and that's how I was when I was in the military.
Yeah.
You're away from everything and everybody that you know.
Exactly.
So mentally, not necessarily strategically, but mentally, you're trying to find your people because you need what you're disconnected from home.
And being here, I was in a lonely place.
Mm-hmm.
But in it all, I always believed that I like relationships that happen organically and
right.
genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
So I waited. I was very patient.
Absolutely.
Because of the mindset of people, they want to know who your folks is,
right?
Who you can to,
right?
Before they let you in.
Right.
And so I didn't push for it.
Right.
I just waited on God.
Right.
And we kind of like just came together very slowly.
Yeah.
And then I met Miss Kalitha.
Yeah.
And that was my buddy.
Yeah. I love Kalitha's spirit. But what I was about to say is it's really unfortunate, and I don't know if it's a Southern thing. But we gravitate towards wanting to know who your folks are, or who do you know, or who are you connected to before we open up to, and then it's almost like there's an agenda instead of allowing your heart to be vulnerable.
Yes.
And like you said, allowing relationships to form organically without any hidden agendas.
Exactly, and that's what a lot of people are not used to. And in moving here, I was kind of like, I felt like I was on this island alone.
Yes, ma'am.
Because some people have some serious trust issues, and so it has been a joy to have such a great people of support.
Right.
And we support one another. And that is and we're very intentional.
Right.
About supporting one another, and we encourage one another. We push one another.
You don't find that a lot.
Yeah.
And it is, I love it though. I love that you all have found something that is another intentional piece and part of who you are and what you do, because when people see you all together, it sends a message.
Yeah.
It sends a message that, you know what? Yeah, we can get along.
And what's most important is if there is an issue between us, we talk it out.
Right.
Because we're not, there's no perfect relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all still trying to get to know one another, and we pull each other, we hold each other accountable.
Two things you said that are vitally important that we grown folks, honey, we need to just say what needs to be said. We need to learn how to talk about it. We need to learn how to communicate. And that is one of our, and that is not just a cultural thing. That's an everybody thing. And it's very prevalent. You see it a lot on social media because we take everything to social media. More so when I say everything, I mean we spill out our emotions. We show that we don't know how to communicate. So when you can be very intentional about saying, hey, we need to talk about this. Let's communicate and make that work. That's some good stuff. That is not having to have a deductible and paying for a therapist. That's learning how to do it.
Yeah.
I love that. And then you also said accountability.
Yeah.
That's another hard lesson that we need to learn. We need to learn how to hold one another accountable. Family, friends. Family is a big one.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about, again, this is not cultural. I don't know what it is about people, but we have a hard time holding one another accountable. And that is to our detriment.
Well, even with the group of friends that, I'm with, because I'm open to everybody.
Absolutely.
But I was very prayerful.
Right.
I was like, God, if this is not the group for me or
right,
then show me and I'll walk away.
Right.
And I
that. And that's good. I love that because this is another thing we have as sisters, and I think this is a sister thing. It may not be true, so y'all don't count for me. It may be everybody. But we have this whole mentality, no new friends. Which, why would you close yourself up? Why would you close yourself off to an opportunity to allow someone else to come into your life and in your world and help you grow? Because there's a whole big old world out there that you have yet to experience. Even at our big old ages, I mean, because, I'm in my 50s. There is no way that, and I regret that I have, in years past, closed myself up and off to getting to know other people or experiencing things that can help me grow, so that I can be a better person. Yeah. So the whole no new friends thing, I think, I hope that has been canceled. I hope we left that in whenever that was, 2020. It might have been during COVID, but I hope it.
No, I have different sector of friends.
Good.
I really do.
Good.
I have friends still back home.
Of course, absolutely.
Friends that I kind of, I just went to a fashion show yesterday with a very good friend of mine.
That's good.
I'm not into cliques.
Baby,
no,
my goodness.
And if anybody ever took it as that, I apologize.
Oh no, no, but I am a huge advocate and proponent. I'm anti-clique. Yeah. Because who does that benefit? Nobody. And if anything, it sends the wrong message. Yeah. And that also creates trust issues as well. When you feel like you encounter folks who were like, you can't sit here, So I love that. Yeah. I love that.
My church community has also been aid in, even before I get ready to make a business move. We sit down with our leadership.
Really?
And ask them we're not asking permission.
Right.
We're just asking.
Having a conversation.
A covering.
And right.
And that we,
guidance, wisdom.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And that you be praying for us along the way. Yes.
Girl, and that is another. We feel like we should not sit down and have a conversation with our leaders. And that's another unfortunate way of thinking that we have, which kind of minimizes leadership that God has placed over us. And I don't know, I don't even know how to articulate that right now, so we're gonna leave that alone. But that's an issue with us as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're wrapping this up, y'all. We could sit and talk and have like a part 2, but I'm gonna let Miss Stacey get her stylish self back on up 85 with one more question. And I'm gonna just wrap this up by I'm actually gonna read this question. I haven't read anything off air, but this question is: as someone who embodies Black girl magic, how do you continue to empower and inspire other women, not only in your industry, but in your community? How do you do that?
Oh, yeah. because God has put me on this earth to be an encourager, someone that inspires, someone that motivates and ministers. And that's what I do. And I don't take not one situation for granted. I don't care if I'm in Walmart, if I'm in Kroger, if I'm in Publix. There is always, God always opens up a window of opportunity to encourage, motivate, and inspire. Always. Always.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't want to leave it there, but we're going to leave it there. I will ask you this. I won't leave this question in season 1. And we've had a few guests, and I've not asked this question, but I just feel the need to ask you this question. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on in the news. What have you been paying attention to that has broken your heart, or what have you been paying attention to that's out there in the news? And there's a lot.
The one that breaks my heart the most is the lack of consideration for humanity.
That's good. That's good. That's full body. That can include a lot of things and a
lack of consideration.
I get it. Okay. And with that, y'all, I want to thank you, Stacey, for coming down and sitting on the sofa with me, girl. I feel so privileged. I know, girl. Until next time, this has been Truth Speaks. We're in season 2, y'all, and we're rolling right along. See you next time. Yay!